If you've ever been dreaming of a better life, you better act on your future right now, which is exactly what I did. I packed up all of my things and moved to a new city. And as the entrepreneur Jim Rohn says, your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. So if you have a chance to go to school or go to work in a new city or a new country, or you just want to get out of your current situation, seriously, guys, just do it. Either for the experience of living in a new place, or if your situation is stressing you out, leave for the sake of your nervous system. Every single time I've decided to make a major change, my life always gets better as a result of that. And if it doesn't, then there's always the option of going back, right? But then again, why would you go back? Taking action, or even the conscious thought of taking action, is the biggest exercise of your free will. And putting yourself in a brand new environment, whether it's moving to a new place or traveling, is possibly one of the easiest and most drastic changes you can make in your life. I believe that experiencing novelty is truly the key to experiencing a beautiful life. And if you've ever been on vacation, you're going to know that feeling. It's when you're experiencing a bunch of new things that time slows down so much and life becomes so much more colorful. You start noticing more beautiful things, you start remembering more things too, and your brain literally starts creating more memories than if you were to stay in the same place doing the same things over and over again. And being able to discover and explore new things that make you happy is actually what makes life worth living. For me, moving from New York City to Miami means much more beautiful weather, beautiful beaches. The trees here are so lush. And as you guys know, I love plants, I love nature and vegetation, and it's just beautiful here. People have fun here. That's gorgeous to me. I always love to see people having a good time. I also get a lot more value out of my living situation compared to living in New York. And they call Miami the magic city for many reasons, and I really do see the magic in the city. All of these things that I've mentioned can override the cons of living here. And believe me, there are pros and cons to literally every city in the world. You just need to find out what's worth it to you. So when I first mentioned to people that I know that I was moving here, people were like, but May, why would you do that? New York is the best city in the world and Miami can be superficial. How will you ever find happiness here? But I think that people forget that we all experience and build our own versions of reality, depending on how we choose to see things. And also depending on what they have experienced, they might doubt you, but they're also not you and they've never experienced the things that you've experienced. So they don't really have the right to judge your life. And despite me loving New York so much, I see a lot of good moving here, especially for my current life circumstances. And what could be the best city for one person can also be the same place where someone else feels limited. And sometimes we do outgrow places. New York used to be the city that made me who I was because I moved there when I was 17. I was really young. And then ultimately, slowly but surely, I began to outgrow it because I realized that it was me who made myself who I was, regardless of where I live. And sometimes the environment that you're in can also determine how much you can grow. So for me, when a certain phase of my life was over, that means I may have reached my limits. And despite that, I will never take it for granted everything that I've experienced in New York. I will always respect people who go for their dreams in a big city, and the energy there is just undeniable. But it was just time for me to move on. But what's good about starting a new chapter is that you're never starting from zero. You're starting over with everything that you know and everything that you learn, and you're taking all of that with you. A fresh start gives you an amazing opportunity to become more intentional about crafting your new dream life without the pressures of your existing environment. Sometimes you really need to separate physically from your old life in order to create the new life and reinvent yourself. You get to decide who now gets to belong in your new social circle, and you can now adopt new habits with a lot more freedom because now there's nobody and nothing that can hold you back. This was true when I moved across the world to a new country at 17 years old, and it's still true today. There's always going to be people who think that they know you and they think that they know what's best for you, but they only know that specific version of you in their heads based on their encounters with you. So how can you let that sliver of judgment get to you? And by the way, I am INFP, so I know a thing or two about feeling and perceiving, and someone else's perception of you is not your reality. It's their reality. It's the way that they will project onto you. It's the way that they see you based on who they are, It's not who you are. And so many years ago, when I first told people that I was moving to New York City, and my childhood best friend, for example, she immediately, like, what, after I told her that I was moving, she immediately blocked me on social media. She literally went, "What?" And then she blocked me. So I assumed that she was envious and she couldn't bear to see me live a new life, maybe a new life without her, or a life that she was dreaming of. That's when I know that she wasn't actually my friend because she didn't want the best for me. And what's sad was that I thought we were friends, but that incident proved that we're not. And it's for the best because I was able to close that chapter of my life and move on to something much better. You also have to realize that most people want good for you, but they don't want to see you doing better than them. And that is when you need to leave them. Because the people who truly wish the best for you are the real ones. And the real ones are, honestly, there's not a lot of real ones. So you can imagine, do these people actually know what's best for you? No, only you know. Only you can tell yourself that. Whenever you want to start a new chapter of your life, you need to make room of it by letting go of new things. And that's how you heal. That's how you invite better opportunities into your life. Whether it's mentally letting go of old relationships that don't fit anymore, letting go of old trauma, which is what I'm doing, and moving will actually automatically get rid of a lot of that because out of sight, out of mind. Immediately after I moved here, I felt so much better. Like a whole weight has been lifted off of me. And the whole point of going to a new place is that you get to really reinvent yourself and decide, okay, who is the new me? What does the new era look like? What do they own? What kind of personality traits do they have? And what do they surround themselves with? Is it old raggedy stuff that's falling apart? Or maybe even a new aesthetic Pinterest life that they created on your vision board? Like, really sit down with yourself and think about what you want out of your rebrand. I actually sold a lot of my old furniture, things that I don't want anymore, including my old tables that have scratches and dents on it. Pretty much all of my old kitchen stuff, like plates and utensils, old clothes that are worn out, and my old bed. I only wanted to bring my best furniture, and my mattress was actually starting to look old. So I got a new king size mattress for the bedroom from Plank, which is the sponsor of today's video. When I was looking for a new mattress, I had a few requirements. I wanted to find one that had temperature control, it was high quality, that supports my back and posture, and Plank is recognized and endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association. They have two versions, the Plank Firm, which is the more firm one, and then the one I got, which is the Plank Firm Luxe, which is the more plush mattress that also contours to your body for a supportive and comfortable night of sleep. It came in a box that was quick and easy to set up, and the rest of my furniture and stuff, it took a while to get here, so I made sure that the mattress was the very first thing to arrive in the apartment so that I have a place to crash. And I was actually shocked at how quickly it took from ordering to being delivered to my new place. It got to this apartment a week before I did. The Plank mattress was so easy to order online. They ship anywhere in the US for free, straight from their Arizona factory, where they're also designed and assembled by master craftsmen who have been building mattresses for over 25 years. Shipping directly from their facility in Arizona also means that there's no middleman involved and you're able to offer premium quality at a great value. I've had it for 2 weeks now and I'm loving it so far. I fall asleep so quickly on it, and another interesting thing about it is both sides of the mattresses are usable and they have different levels of firmness, so you can try it out and see which side you prefer. I know for me, the first couple of nights I slept on it, I did try both sides, like one night each, and ultimately I chose the firmer side of the Plank Firm Luxe, and it's so comfy that I find it hard to leave the bed sometimes. With your Plank mattress, you also get a 120-night sleep trial along with a limited lifetime warranty, which is their guarantee that you will absolutely love it. I mean, I love my Plank mattress. I used to get back pains from sleeping like randomly, but I don't anymore, and I feel so good and refreshed when I wake up. And I think that you will enjoy it too. So if you're looking for a new bed, do check out plankmattress.com. You can click on my link below and get 30% off your order with my code MayAlice, or you can scan the QR code. So yeah, if you're thinking of moving and need a new mattress, do check out Plank. And thank you to Plank for sponsoring this video. Wherever you go, you take yourself with you. You might be brand new to a brand new city, but you still carry some of your internal emotional baggages with you, but it's easier to shed a lot of that because you're forcing yourself to do that and give yourself new opportunities opportunities to grow. For me, there's still a ton of inner work that I have to work on, and I recently restarted therapy again to uncover all of that. And I need a new place so that I can slow down and actually breathe. And the reason is I didn't feel like I was able to do that in a place where I was still running to people from my old life, especially people who I cut off. Even passing by places that I used to work at or seeing an ex I didn't want to see anymore. In my old city, I was constantly being reminded of things around me and it was starting to hold me back. And if you know me and this channel, you will know that we don't like to be held back from living our dreams. People don't realize how much your physical environment can affect you, and it really does. Plus, I was getting bored, and believe me, I spent the better part of my teens and my 20s in New York City, okay? I did everything that I wanted to do there to the point where I wasn't even experiencing newness anymore. So I thought it was better to start fresh and move to a new place where I barely knew anyone and do a factory reset on my life. And so far, it's been great. I've been able to meet a lot of new people. My neighbors are amazing, and everyone's been really friendly so far, and I feel really good about this decision. I think that living somewhere new and enjoying a new environment can really remove some of the pressures of having to act like your old self or running into people that you'd rather not run into. And I've always heard people say that growth is uncomfortable, but it's not always true. It can challenge you for sure, but it doesn't have to be difficult, and you don't have to suffer. It's okay to be comfortable with growth and change. It's okay to constantly not be stressing over improving all the time. In fact, you shouldn't want that stress. Growth is not inherently uncomfortable. It can actually be really fun and very inspiring. You don't have to fall into the trap of thinking that you need to suffer and grind constantly and be in pain so that you can grow. Contentment is good too sometimes. Contentment is comfortable, and ultimately we should strive to be content or at least work towards putting ourselves in a more comfortable situation. Even if it takes a lot of work to get to that point of being happy and at peace, that's what it's all about. Life is not about constantly grinding until someday you go to heaven, okay? That's not what life is supposed to be like. But it's all about the grind to get to that point of peace. And that type of inner and outer work is super worth it. It's the best kind of investment. You always need to be working towards that end goal. Think of it like retirement, right? People work their entire lives so that they can be comfortable when they grow old. But it does take some planning and strategizing, which is actually the fun part. Because what's the point of living if all you do is school and work? I don't want you guys to see yourself as never good enough and you have to do this and do that in order to be perfect. Just do enough so that you can be happy and content. We don't need to grind all the time. Even for myself, I can be working so much more and making a ton of money and all of that, but I'm actually happy where I am right now. And I want to focus on getting my things together, settling down, and peace and happiness and healing. All of these things are more important to me, so they take priority. And you have to be mindful when self-improvement becomes escapism and becomes a performance, which is not the point at all. We shouldn't have to perform self-improvement for ourselves and especially not for other people. Real self-improvement also includes things like acceptance, feeling empathy for ourselves, for other people, embracing our flaws and our shadows, and actually allowing ourselves to exist just as we are and just being ourselves. So if you're happy where you are, then that's great. But notice when you reach your upper limit and you actually find yourself happier somewhere else and you're starting to resent your current situation, then that's your sign to experience that newness. Whether it's if you're young and there's a lot ahead of you, or if you're older and you're moving to a lower cost of living country, that might actually be a really great thing to do for retirement and things like that. A new lifestyle when it comes to curating and becoming more intentional about your life, it also includes the new energies that you're being surrounded by, and whether that's abundant energy or an energy of lack. One of the biggest reasons for my move is I wanted to get out of my old neighborhood where even though a lot of people think it was the coolest place to be and it's where people go to party and to seem cool or whatever, it's kind of like Berlin where you're sexy and cool but you're broke. That was maybe important to me when I was like 17, but at this point right now in my life, I don't care about any of that anymore. And it was getting hard for me to leave because I was getting a ton of space. I had a beautiful loft apartment in Brooklyn, and it was also rent controlled, and I was saving so much money. But there were also a lot of things that I had to deal with too, like streets were dirty. I could hear techno from the nearby clubs until 4 a.m. in the morning every weekend. And my life wasn't about working in the nightlife anymore, so I didn't need to be in that type of environment. Not to mention, when it comes to living in a city like New York or even other cities like London or Paris, like I felt like every time I go out, I had to put on like a don't mess with me vibe, which is not my vibe at all. That's not what I want to feel like when I go outside, and that's not how I want to express myself. I literally just want to look hot and carry a cute shoulder bag and not worry about someone snatching it or whatever. And I didn't want to get catcalled either, which is another thing that I didn't want anymore. So I needed to find a new safe environment where I can calm down my nervous system and feel good when I walk down the street and feel like myself and the vibe is nice and everyone is relaxed and happy. So I moved to a beautiful new neighborhood in Miami where I can experience all of that. And even my daily walks involve walking on tree-lined streets and seeing people relaxing. And I'm also surrounded by convenience and also beautiful fancy stores. And that is all intentionally curated. That is a reality that I actively chose to live in. It's an exercise of free will, but it took a ton of preparation, months and months of preparation for me to get to this point. Do you remember when I told you that if you want to manifest more luxury in your life, you have to embody and immerse yourself in that luxury? And actually, not just mentally, but also physically putting yourself in a space where you can feel like you belong or where you can actually get used to. You can walk into any stores, try on things, talk to the people who work there. You don't even have to buy anything, honestly. And the other day, I just went to some stores in my neighborhood and I told them I just moved in and the window shopping is kind of part of my daily walk. And you guys can just chill out and I'll admire the goods. Maybe I'll find something that I like. There's literally nobody who can say, oh, you need to leave. You don't belong here. Like if you're ever afraid to walk into Chanel or Prada or whatever because you don't think that you can afford it, or if you're afraid and thinking like, oh, I don't deserve all this attention from the salespeople because I'm not going to buy anything, I can't afford it, and what if they judge me? Trust me, they don't actually judge you. They don't know how much money you have. They don't know what your life is about. And all of that talk, that's actually you rejecting yourself first. When in fact, nobody can reject you because there's no way they know if you're buying something or not unless you tell them. You have to feel deserving and find that abundance within yourself. And that includes which doors you think you deserve to walk into. And even in the short time that I've lived here, I've seen all kinds of wealth, so-called wealth, and you really don't know how much money anybody has because new money is loud and old money is low-key, and then sometimes is the opposite, and you just don't know, right? And honestly, I never judge people when they rent a Lambo and go on a shopping spree because at least they're having fun with their life. Life is not about making money all the time. It's how you use that money to live your life. And what's the point of earning it if you're not even going to enjoy yourself? As long as you're not in debt, use that money that you're making as an energy to enjoy your life and invest in that so that it can return to you. The more I learned to be less uptight with money, the more easily it comes to me. And there's no difference between a kid using a piggy bank to save up for a toy and someone buying their first apartment. The feeling is the same. It might not have the same kind of returns, but it's literally the same feeling. If you can find more abundance and enjoyment to be comfortable with your new normal that you choose to be in and be open to things and experiences, then as a result of that, you're also going to be finding more opportunities. Energy will go and it will always come back to you. When you freely give, you will also receive more opportunities to make money, to experience even more of what you like, and at least you're not rotting in your bed. To me, that's you not giving energy so that you're not receiving it either. So that's why you feel drained. Even if it's a small thing, right? Like going to the mall and try on some clothes and discover new things about what you like and what you don't like and go on a walk. But the point is, you have to believe that you deserve to walk into any and all doors because the world is yours to live in. And honestly, if anyone else makes you feel like you don't deserve to experience nice things, they are wrong for that. And you shouldn't listen to them. There are certain places that have really high energy that's also good energy. And I actually recently learned this, that luxury stores as well as luxury department stores, they hire feng shui masters to design their interiors. And it's usually filled with excited and fun, happy energy because they're either buying something that they work hard for as a reward or even just having fun buying something for themselves or buying gifts for someone that they genuinely love. So you can compare this to where I used to live, where there's people getting wasted and trying to be so cool and being desperately, trying to fit in and trying so hard, which to me is actually such bad vibes. Honestly, you really should be aiming to be surrounded by happy and positive energy where people are chilling and having fun. That's the whole point. When I used to own a boat in the Rockaways, I was able to go to the beach all the time, and that's where all the happy and chill people are. They are at the beach. But now I'm back in that environment, except I'm on land. So energy is also super contagious, and you need to curate your energy. Another thing too with curating your energy is that you have to be super intentional. Even with me, with everything that I own, I have to love everything. And if I don't love it, it's gone. So I'm working on getting a lot of new things like furniture to fill up my new terrace, and I have gorgeous wraparound terrace, which is something that I could have never imagined for myself, but I got it. And I want to fill it out with a lot of beautiful trees and house plants and even little things like this. Like I bought a cute little teacup and saucer because I want to romanticize my life. And these are things that you can give to yourself as you start to rebuild a new home base. And it's going to take time. Trust me, I've been here for a couple of weeks now. But yeah, all of these things have been taking time for me to get to this point. And there's still a lot for me to do. I'm actually feeling so inspired that I'm going to be doing more vlogging on my channel so I can show you all the entire process of how I'm building my dream life. And honestly, I want to see the same for you. I want to see you go out there and discover new things that you like and create a better life for yourself. So let me hear it in the comments. Say this back to me as an affirmation. I will invite new beginnings into my life, or I will find new ways to enjoy my life. Or say both. Say them both back to me. Whichever one that you resonate with more, say it back to me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.